What is going on, everyone? Platinum Beast coming at you with yet another video. Today we are going to be talking about California's gas-powered car ban and what that might mean for Platinum and my thoughts on it. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, guys. So recently, the governor of California issued a statement that he plans, or he issued a bill. I forget. We're going to look at an article towards the second half of this video, but he issued a bill or a plan or an idea or whatever that he plans to have gasoline-powered cars banned in the state of California in the near future. This has a lot to do with the fires that have been going on recently in California, in the forests and things like that. But I kind of want to talk about what that might mean for Platinum, what that could do to Platinum, and things like that. So a lot of people are probably saying, hey, since California is the first to ban gas cars, the other states will follow shortly after. And, Platinum will just lose its value. We got to remember that Platinum is used in gasoline-powered vehicles, or diesel-powered vehicles, whereas Palladium's used in gasoline. So Platinum's already kind of at its bottom, right? Most consumer vehicles use gas. A lot of industrial vehicles use diesel, and I think it will be very hard to eliminate those in a short amount of time. People don't need diesel to get 5, 10, 15 miles down the road to work every day. They do need diesel to take something from the East Coast to the West Coast, at least of America, because that is a long, long way. But I want to talk about the gas power ban, I guess, that could potentially be implemented in somewhat of a near future. I don't think it impacts Platinum's value very much. I think it might limit Platinum's ability to increase just based off of auto emissions alone. But again, I think future uses will be found for this metal. And I think its uses are just really limitless on what we could potentially figure out this Platinum is useful in doing. Because it is just such a unique metal that it won't go unused once cars go electric. Now, whether or not the ban even takes place, I don't know. It could just be a game of politics, right? We all know on both sides that in politics, a lot of candidates say stuff and it never really happens, or it doesn't happen. Usually it's when people forgot about it altogether and they don't really care anymore, right? And so there's a potential that this ban doesn't even go through. It also could have potential constitutional limitations to it, right? Because the Constitution guarantees people certain rights and things like that, and banning gas-powered cars would, somewhat limit people's ability to stay in the state of California and things like that, because not everyone can afford a brand new electric vehicle, right? It's really somewhat of a downer for people who have gas-powered cars and can't afford electric because they just simply don't have the financial means to buy a new car. You would be surprised at how many people drive 20, 30-year-old cars because that's all they can afford. And there's nothing wrong with that, But if the government's going to mandate that you can no longer drive your car or you need to get rid of your car and you can't afford it, I think that will have issues that might go all the way up to the Supreme Court. I don't know. So as far as my ideas, I don't even think the ban goes through. But at the same time, it could, because realistically anything can happen, right? There's been plenty of times in history where things have happened that I didn't think would happen and they did happen, right? So you never know what the future holds in regards to California actually implementing its ban on gas-powered cars. Right now, there's a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot of uncertainty with the fires going on. You know, obviously, my prayers go out to everyone over there who may be near the fires or have been impacted by the fires in any way. But when things like that happen, you know, people say things, and then if things change later, you know, they either go back or they just forget about it, or it no longer matters, right? So there's fires today. When it comes time to actually ban the cars, maybe there's, you know, snow and a blizzard happens, right? And then they're like, no, we don't really need to ban cars because we have more snow than we need. I don't know. That's just theoretical. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at an article real quick and just kind of look and see what all is planned, what the politicians say, and just I'll give kind of some more of my thoughts on the topic overall. So let's go over to the screen cam and let's look at that article, and we'll talk more about it from there. Okay, guys, so I've got this article pulled up on npr.org. It's all about the California governor signs order banning sales of new gasoline cars by 2035. So I guess I was originally kind of misunderstood the idea of this ban. So the ban consists of selling new gasoline cars by 2035, not just banning the cars overall in the state. I would imagine if this actually went through that there would be heavy taxes on anybody who decided to keep their gasoline cars, as well as limiting the new development of gasoline stations and things like that. And although California is a very populated state, there are rural areas that need gas and things like that. So that's something to consider when thinking about just all of this in general. But basically, I already kind of read through this article a little bit, but basically, California will phase out the sale of all gasoline-powered vehicles by 2035 in a bid to lead the U.S. in reducing greenhouse gas emissions by encouraging the state's drivers to switch to electric cars. Governor Gavin Newsom signed an executive order Wednesday that amounts to the most aggressive clean car policy in the United States. Although it bans the sale of new gas cars and trucks after the 15-year deadline, it will still allow vehicles to be owned and sold on the used car market. Okay, so it still allows for gasoline used cars to be bought and sold. So it's not as much of a disappointment to those who may not be able to afford a brand new electric car. It mainly just is trying to get people to convert over, which is understandable, but its implementation I am unsure of. The quote says, "Our cars shouldn't make wildfires worse and create more days filled with smoky air. Cars shouldn't melt glaciers or raise sea levels, threatening our cherished beaches and coastlines." Okay, I'm not going to get into politics. I'm not going to give my ideas. You may be on one side of this argument. You may be on the other. Regardless, the future will come, and we'll see how things end up. Let's see. So, yeah, basically it talks a lot about the wildfires that have been going on in California. It also talks about transportation being the state's biggest and rising source of emissions. And then it talks about the executive order that is signed. In this executive order, it sets targets for 200 hydrogen fueling stations and 250,000 electric vehicle chargers to support 1.5 million zero-emission vehicles on California roads by 2025. So the hydrogen fueling stations, that is an interesting topic because hydrogen-powered vehicles and machines use platinum, actually, and that would help in the industrial side of Platinum if hydrogen fuel took off. And hydrogen has been proven to be zero emission while also more efficient in the mileage you can drive and things like that. It basically, the hydrogen powered engine powers a battery, so you fuel the vehicle with hydrogen fuel, and then that fuel charges the battery. So it's basically like you have your own power plant in the vehicle, which I kind of like the idea of that, and it actually seems very intuitive and very creative and very useful. It also says 250,000 electric vehicle chargers to support. So the electric vehicle charging, at least right now, is very slow. They do have fast chargers, but it still takes around 30 minutes to fully charge, and that's just time people don't want to sit there. I mean, when you go pump gas, you just want to pump. You usually go in, grab a soda, grab a drink, whatever, come back out, tank's full, hang up the pump, start up the engine, and leave. And that's what people are used to, and they're not going to get so used to waiting around for charging. It also just talks about different things that the governor and other people have said. Spokeswoman for the Institute for Energy Research, a think tank that often sides with the fossil fuel industry, called the move by Newsom another silly distraction from real problems. So, again, I'm not going to get into politics. I'm not going to talk about what side I'm on or anything like that. Some people believe that driving cars is not what causes forest fires or makes them worse. If people want to drive electric cars, they'll buy them. You don't have to eliminate the competition. So again, there's obviously two sides to this argument. We'll see where things go. I am hesitant to think that this ban will actually take place, but anything's possible in this world. And so I just kind of wanted to make this video talking about that exact subject. So I'm going to leave the link to this article down in the description below. Feel free to check it out if you like. Thank you to all my loyal followers for watching this video and watching my other videos. Be sure to stay tuned for future videos coming out. And until next time, guys, we will see ya.